Tony D and Little Joan, and this is your Screenwriter's Rant on Long Bright River from Peacock, a limited series starring Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried, I say, as a cop who's going to track down a serial killer. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 16 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. And book 17 dropping in just a week or two. So, I'm just going to come out and say it right now. I really like Amanda. She's beautiful. But I think she's kind of miscast in this role because she's so tiny and beautiful. Here she is with her son. That's one of the streetwalkers. She just, she's supposed to be a beat cop who then takes on solving a serial killer kind of murder mystery. But she's constantly looking up at everybody because she's so tiny. She's literally the tiniest person in the cast. Everybody's like a head taller than her. Now, in some respects, you could say, well, for protagonist, that's a good thing. March 13th, it starts, by the way. It's a good thing that, yeah, okay, she's smaller, and it's going to be tougher for her to beat the bad guys. But she even is dwarfed by the other streetwalkers, the other women. Look at the way they're shooting her. Like, at least if you're going to shoot her, try to make her look a little taller. I mean, do the Tom Cruise thing. Get an apple box. Have her stand on the apple box so she looks a little taller in some of the scenes. Like, almost looking the other people. I mean, how tiny is she? How is she going to catch anyone? This is the problem, and I know I'm going to step in it with this statement, but this is kind of the problem with female cops. Like, someone this tiny. Look, I'm 58 years old. I'm not in great shape, but I'm pretty sure if Amanda Seyfried tried to stop me robbing a bank, I'd just knock her over if she didn't have her gun out. I mean, with one hand, like, I wouldn't even have to hit her with the money. I would just like, get out of the way. Could just stiff arm her right in the face. Like, she's really tiny. And I get it. She has a gun, and maybe she has a taser. I'm not sure if Philly cops have tasers. They probably do. But, I mean, couldn't we have look, if you're going to cast somebody in this role, you got to cast someone who's a little heftier. Look at this comparison here. See, this is like a shot because the main character has a tie to this girl who's on the street. It might be her sister or whatever. And, so you got this sort of, cinema shot in this. Yeah, I mean, she's tiny too. That's why she's vulnerable and on the street to some extent. So I really think she's miscast in this role. But beyond that, let me play. Now, I can't play the sound, but let me read to you some of the dialogue in this thing. Did a lot of street work. Girls of the Avenue. Oh, here, let me back it up. I went to elementary school down the street, and so did a lot of the girls working the Avenue today. So she's already identifying with the prostitutes. And then her partner says, these women are good people. Let me stop you right there. Look, women are horribly exploited in the prostitution game. No doubt they're horribly exploited. Horrible. Which is why I believe you should legalize it. I think that would mitigate a lot of that damage. But they're good people. That's a weird statement to make, because they might have started out as good people, but once you're in that grind, you don't come out of it as good people. I don't think. They end up committing a lot of crimes. Prostitutes don't just ply their trade innocently, they're often driven to do horrible things as well. And here the guy says, the men, they're a different story. Now, I assume he's talking about the customers. Kind of glosses over a lot with that statement, right? Kind of glosses over a lot. The number one people who are to blame for this sorry state of affairs are the pimps. They're the ones who exploit these women. They keep them on the streets. They often keep them addicted to drugs. And they take all their money on top of everything else. So the customers, yeah, they're not great people either, but compared to the pimps, come on. So it's kind of an odd framing, like all the customers are on the verge of killing these women. It's not quite true. Not quite true. Not true at all. It's a weird framing of this. It's like, and then he says it's our job to protect them, like it's their job to protect prostitutes. It's not your job. Your job is to protect the people of, and it turns out this is Philadelphia. I didn't recognize the skyline, but apparently it is Philadelphia. And yeah, it's your job to protect everyone in the city, not just the prostitutes. So, a very strange framing. It's based on a New York Times bestseller. And the story goes something like this. Amanda is a cop, and either her sister, cousin, or friend is a prostitute. And she's tried to help her over the years, but she can't, and she falls into addiction, falls into the life, whatever. And now, with someone killing prostitutes, she goes, her friend goes missing, or her sister, or whoever she is, and now Amanda's on the case because nobody cares. This has been done a million times, and so it's pretty derivative. My only interest in this movie is that it was shot in Philadelphia, apparently, but I didn't even recognize it in the shots, so they may have not shot this in Philadelphia. They may have shot some of the exteriors in Philly and then shot it like in Canada, which is something they do. It's cheaper to shoot in Canada in a lot of respects, so I don't know, but they find places that look like Philadelphia that are cheaper to shoot in. They shoot the majority of it there, and then they take a second unit and send it to Philly, so Amanda doesn't have to actually walk the streets of Kensington. But it is based on a book, so maybe that it was a New York best time sellers. I've talked about New York Times bestsellers before. I really think it's not what it used to be, so that's really not a factor. But the fact that it is based on a book usually means there's a lot of detail. Seems like there is, but it's hard to get past Amanda's gorgeous, gorgeous face and tiny little frame. It's really going to make it hard for me to believe. It's also a miniseries, which means it's essentially, instead of a 2-hour movie, it's a 4-hour, 8-hour movie, however many episodes there are. But I wouldn't totally kick it out of my wheelhouse. Yeah, I'm kind of like right on the fence. Maybe. If I heard it was good, if my girlfriend wanted to watch it, probably wouldn't say no. Probably wouldn't say no. But that being said, it's a fairly standard sort of serial killer movie trope kind of thing. But again, I think they just should have stood Amanda on some apple boxes. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for the other videos that we can't post on YouTube. Check me out in my appearance this Sunday at Nerdfest in Swedesboro, New Jersey, at the Holiday Inn Express, right there off of 295. I'll have all 16 books of the Pineys. And speaking of the Pineys, book 17 is coming together. I'm doing the final edits. I'm putting together the cover. I got the cover. Everything is green to go for March, early March, before my birthday. So I'm very excited. We're going to get out the book right at the beginning of the month. So look for that. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.